It is Tuesday. I'm a little out of breath, running back and forth to my car. I keep forgetting things in my car and have to walk through this building and back into a, anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's Tuesday. We have a buying appointment today. I have to get some orders out, get some things wrapped up. I think it's going to be a pretty low-key week. Got a good rest in yesterday for the Labor Day weekend. But then we're also getting the Joanne Carson lot from Julian's Auctions tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. I don't have much on the agenda for today other than just editing the vintage lingerie video, which hopefully by the time you see this video, I would have already uploaded. And just taking things as they come this week. Like I said, we have a big buying appointment today. I don't know what to expect, what kind of pieces they're going to be, but I figure right now I need to stock up all I can. It's either feast or famine. So hopefully that yields some really great vintage. All right, let's get this day started. Also, is today going to be the day where I clear a path and clear off my couch? Only time will tell. I just love it back here, even in all of its sense of chaos. It's a beautiful chaos, I think. Okay, it's later in the day and I just got done with the buying appointment I had earlier. Two really wonderful women came in and it was a really fun buying appointment. I think they were here, I think it was at least over an hour, maybe two, I'm not positive. But got a lot of really, really cool and unique pieces. And what made it even better, a lot of the pieces that are cotton or linen, they ended up washing themselves. So that saved me a lot of work. So I'm always willing to pay more for pieces if there's not much I have to do for them, obviously. I've really been feeling this bubblegum pink. You know, I got this dress a couple of weeks ago. Now this one is this cute little mod mini dress. But look at these buttons. How adorable are those? I have to zoom in. And then the label, Adele Martin Original. Never heard of that brand, but gosh, just look at that lining. It's this killer hot pink. I am so obsessed with this. I mean, the colors and the prints in this lot are just, I don't even know what to say. Have this gorgeous polyester print top with a horse park print on it. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, I've got my work cut out for me with this one. A lot of really great stuff. And again, it was a really enjoyable buying appointment. Always helps when you have people that they care so much about the pieces and just wanted to make sure that they went to good homes. Now, if you're watching this and you're another vintage seller, you have a brick and mortar, or you buy pieces for your shop online, my biggest piece of advice when you're doing buying appointments, be super transparent with your prices and why you're pricing pieces the way you are. Now, even in places like Fargo, we don't have a lot of vintage stores, but getting good pieces is very hard. You don't live in big cities where they're plentiful of vintage to choose from. So when you're buying things from people, really what helps is just showing your love and reverence for the pieces, being super respectful, but also being fair about what you're willing to pay and buy things for and why you're getting to the number that you're getting. Now, usually every buying appointment can be pretty different in terms of how I piece things out. With this particular one, since there were so many pieces, and also the friend of the woman whose family owned all these pieces, she buys vintage. She knows how special these pieces are. These aren't nothing to them. These are cherished pieces. So knowing that you have people who really care about these factors into what I'm willing to pay as well, because I want them to feel like they got a good deal out of it as well. Now I separated all of these into maxi dresses, menswear, separates, accessories, and I tried to price things accordingly, set aside pieces that needed extra work and mending, which is something really big. And I always encourage anyone who's coming in and I'm buying pieces from them, if you don't know why I'm offering the price I'm offering, please ask, because there's always a reason. I don't come up with the numbers just off the top of my head. A lot of factors: the material, the tag, the condition, the style. If I have to put a lot of work into something, get it dry cleaned, get it mended, there's always a reason. But I just want anybody that comes in and sells pieces to know that I'm taking it just as seriously. And I want them to leave feeling good. And obviously not like they got ripped off. Because these are memories. It was fun hearing about the places that the owner wore these pieces and that some of the dresses belonged to her mother. Clothing has memories attached to them. They have stories that spanned way before they got here in my shop, and I love absorbing all of that. And it's knowledge that I can pass on to whoever buys these pieces, that these came from a home where they were very well loved and appreciated. And at the risk of sounding corny, I really, really think with clothing you can feel it. I really do. Now, normally I would go through and film a bunch of the pieces, but this was a really long buying appointment and I didn't dress accordingly. I thought it was going to be cooler today than it really was, and it's very hot outside and I was not dressed for it, and to be moving around and bending down and crouching and digging through stuff, so I'm sweating balls right now and I'm a little dehydrated and tired. So I might save a lot of the picking out of the pieces and showing off specific ones for tomorrow. I have my mom coming in to help me because I have the Joanne Carson Julian's lot, as I said earlier, coming in tomorrow. And it'd be nice just to have a little extra help, but I just wanted to pull this one out, get it all buttoned up, and just admire it. I'm in a really big pink phase. And it's odd that it didn't happen when the Barbie movie came out. Mine is very delayed, but I'm not mad at it. But I am definitely going to look up this label. I've never heard of this label before, and I really want to know more about it. All right, so it is Wednesday, and me and my mom are just sorting out all of the new vintage from yesterday. It was a little bit of a pile, but we started getting them sorted out by category, dresses, separates. We have some menswear over here, and just obsessing over how beautiful and gorgeous a lot of these pieces are, and really one of a kind, I think. This beautiful cardigan, the original owner wore it as a mini dress. I'm obsessed with it. Cannot wait to get that on the mannequin. I know that is gonna fly super fast. Finally got in a special delivery from Julian's Auctions. Been waiting all day for this. Let's crack it open. All right, the first one up is this beautiful sketch done by David Hayes of Joanne Carson wearing the piece that I'm about to unpack. And again, he left little notes on here, like worn with pearls, and how these dresses would best be styled and look. See the amazing swatches of these items. Oh, how stunning is that? I didn't know it was going to be framed. I thought it was just going to be the loose print, so this is even better. So we thought this was funny. It's just a bag of hangers, and these are all of the hangers that the blazers came on. So when they say you're getting pieces from Joanne Carson's estate, they mean you're getting all the pieces. That is hilarious. So now next in these bags are the pieces themselves. Now we have the skirt and what I believe is the top in here in the drawing. But then also with this lot came 6 other David Hayes blazers of Joanne Carson's. And these were really cool, but I really wanted the sketch and the outfit that the sketch was made for. Or the dress that the sketch was made, you know what I mean. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is we are going to get all of these pieces unpacked and put back on their original hangers. And then I want to figure out a way to unpack this. So I'm gonna get a garment bag, a lot of padded hangers, but I think we'll do the other blazers first. Currently unpacking the lot of her blazers, and online you couldn't really get a good idea of what these blazers looked like. It was hard to zoom in on the photos. So this is my first chance to actually see these pieces in their entirety. And I've been looking up more about David Hayes, really fascinating, and definitely really sleek pieces. So it's really cool to see with this blazer, a nice little surprise, the original tag. So it looks like this was never worn. Now these did come a bit dusty. You can definitely tell they were in storage. With Julian's Auctions, you can request a pre-condition report, but I know when I'm buying these pieces, they were worn, they were stored, and it's just part of the story and the history with them. So you may see some spots of dust, and it is what it is, but look at that. Such a cool 100% silk. The variations in this fabric are part of its inherent beauty. Love that. Okay, so we just finished hanging up all of these jackets and blazers. And again, you can definitely tell some of them she wore, some of them were in storage, but they're all very classic. They almost are hard to date because they look contemporary. And that's the mark of, I think, good style. So we put the original hangers back on those. And now we're diving into the main attraction, and that is the skirt and top set that are in the sketch. How stunning is this blouse? I would wear this in a heartbeat. And again, it's so contemporary and classic. You could easily see this being worn out today. All right, so it's the end of the day, still processing everything. Got a little bit of a chunk done. Working on getting these pieces into the online archive, and hopefully by the time this video is up, I'll have the link below to where you can go check it out, learn more about Joanne Carson, her history with ex-husband Johnny Carson, and this beautiful David Hayes set and blazers. All right, wrapping up tonight, and we'll jump right back in tomorrow. All right, so it is Thursday. I'm gonna stop and think. Yeah, it's Thursday today, and I just got in a little bit early. And I'm going to keep trying to, I don't know, finish what I was doing yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a blur. A lot of things were happening at once. We got the Joanne Carson lot. So excited about that. Really interesting story. And had, the buying appointment from Tuesday, still processing getting everything out for that. Yeah, it's nice to be focusing on things inside the shop as opposed to so many things that are happening outside of it. So I'm kind of just excited to play around today and go through all the amazing vintage we got, show some pieces on here, start getting things photographed, and just do shop things. So here's to Thursday. Just photographed this really cool 1960s Bobby Brooks cotton shirt, and it's all in French. I haven't translated it yet or had a moment to read it over, but I know it's French. I'm so excited to get this one up. It's unusual prints like this that you don't see very often, and those are the pieces I look for. Things that are very unusual. I also love that it says it's a man-tailored shirt. And I'll try, if I remember, to insert a picture of when I photographed it, but you can definitely tell when it's on a women's mannequin that it wasn't cut like a standard women's top. It's not tapered in. The shoulders are a little bit broader. It fits more like a square, which is really unique and nice. But I have to show you some menswear we got in that I also thought was really interesting. It's got in this beautiful, it is Thai silk men's shirt. And how cool is that? Now this one is a little bit different as well. And I'm believing, I haven't been able to look too far into it yet, but because it was made in Thailand, that's probably why it is more of a cropped shirt. And I'm assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that these were worn typically probably with either matching pants or higher waisted cotton linen pants for men. Again, I could be wrong, but either way, it's a beautiful, beautiful shirt, and it's in perfect condition. The camera can't pick up how amazing the iridescence is. It's reading a little bit more bluish purple, but the base color is beautiful greenish teal, but then the color shift to it is more of a yellow gold. It's absolutely amazing. And then we have this really cool 1960s Patty O'Neill mini dress, animal print mini dress. Now, at first when I unpacked this, I thought it was sleepwear because it has a really kind of soft, fleecy robe feel. But then I saw these massive wooden buttons and thought, okay, no, there's no way someone's sleeping in that. But I love it because it still has its original dry cleaning takes on that, and also the matching sash. I'm not gonna lie, I say this all the time. It should be a drinking game by now, but I don't know if I can let go of some of these pieces. What a shock. Can we also take a moment for this amazing super mini 1960s blue polka dot dress by Tracy Petites. Now it's funny, the original owner wore this in school, and I loved her comment that, oh my gosh, that was so short. But that was the style. You wear your knee-high socks, your wedges. I mean, I love that look. And I'm excited for the person who's going to own this and style it. I love it. It's good it's not my size because, again, I would probably end up keeping it. Now, yesterday I had another buying appointment that was not expected, and I had a woman come in wanting to sell just a few pieces of jewelry. Now, she mainly had a lot of modern pieces, not a whole lot of vintage, and the ones that were vintage weren't really our style, but I noticed in a bag of rings was this really cool ring box. And I love ring boxes, and this is obviously older, especially with the little push button. And when I opened it, I saw this really cool initial or signet ring. Now, if you see it closely, it's in kind of that old English script with an R, and I'll try to zoom in so you can get a better look at that. Get really close in there so you can see a lot of the details. Now, this is from Ostby and Barton, jewelers that made jewelry from, I believe it was the 1870s until the 1950s, specialized in gold pieces. And the stamp inside is OB 14 carats white gold, and it has a little Maltese cross inside. And I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in and show that, but what I love about this is the stone is onyx. Super beautiful. It has some conditional issues, but I saw this and I thought, okay, well, this is something I need to have and sell. It's such a cool piece, and it comes in its what I believe is its original box. Ugh, so beautiful. Look at all of the really ornate details on it. Again, some flaws with the ring, but it's still such a beautiful piece. So that was a happy surprise. Now, just as a little bit of a historical tidbit, Ostby Barton were, from what I read, probably the most prominent jewelers that we had. And Ostby, the obviously namesake, traveled a lot across the ocean and unfortunately died tragically in the Titanic sinking in 1912. His wife and daughter were able to get off the ship in one of the lifeboats. He tragically died, and from what I read, he had a suitcase, and it was documented, that had jewelry and gemstones. His daughter had a lingerie clip or nightgown clip that I believe was gold and had diamonds that was lost as well. But his kids kept the business going up until the 1950s. Just a really interesting piece of history attached to this ring. But I'm getting this ready to go up for auction. So by the time this video comes out, may or may not still be for sale. If it is, I will put the auction link below. So I just had a buying appointment with an amazing woman who was here for an hour and a half just giving me the best stories about the pieces she brought in. Now, she was a costume designer, did a lot with theater tech, worked in some movies, and so she amassed a really great collection of vintage jewelry, but also because her family really loved fashion and accessories as well. Now, her grandmother was from Germany, moved to the States, and became a nanny for some prominent families in New York City and Chicago. And as was the habit with a lot of these employers, they would give hand-me-downs to people that were what they called the help. And this purse, she believes it was from the 20s or earlier. The straw purse, leather handle, it needs to be redone a bit. But this was given to her grandmother before she was married, and she kept it all these years. But this is just a tiny piece of what was brought in. Now, she also brought in these nesting bags, and they're all leather. And if you see, they have this beautiful gold embossing going around the entire purse. They all have the same embossing. And this was purchased by her father when he was in the Army Corps of Engineers, and he was stationed in Iran and went on vacation in Lebanon and bought these in Beirut. So this was all from the 1960s. They've been well loved. They need to be conditioned. They have a little bit of dryness to it, but otherwise they're in remarkable condition for how much they were used. But how stunning is that? Pockets around the side. I mean, you don't see craftsmanship like this anymore. I just can't get over the embossing. All right, let's move on to the jewelry. So she brought in a couple of shoeboxes filled with jewelry, and the amazing part is that she went through and individually bagged everything by category, color, style, and labeled everything. But I want to share some of the really interesting theater stories that she told me, because I feel like that's one of the most important parts of a lot of the buying appointments and pieces I get. I want to learn the history behind the people who own them and the life that they had before they came to the shop. She was working theater tech and costuming at a theater in Southern Oregon. I believe it was right on the coast of Oregon and Northern California. And one of the actresses in the show on their closing night invited her to the wrap party because she really wanted to introduce her to her friend. So she goes to this wrap party, and the actress introduces her to one of her friends and says that she's the best costumer. just is amazing and really wanted him to meet her. And this friend turned out to be Kevin Kline. And this was in the 80s, so the height of his career. And she said he was very nice and very good looking. Thought that was hilarious. But she also worked with Annette O'Toole's husband. Oh gosh, what was it? Billy Gallagher. And had some interesting stories. I don't know if I'll tell them. They're not mine to share. But I have to tell one that may be a little unsettling for people, but there are no names attached. I just thought it was one of those interesting, quirky stories that I think everybody can take a little bit of a lesson from. So back when she was on the West Coast, there was an actor. Now, this didn't happen to her. This happened to one of her coworkers. And there was an actor who apparently really loved going commando. Now, they called him Captain Commando, and when he would do his quick changes, obviously that was not pleasant for the young woman who had to dress him. Guess he didn't shower. I don't know if it was an actor thing at the time, but what happened was her coworker had to, after one of the quick changes, a pair of the pants that he had just taken off, she had to fold them back out again, get them ready. And unfortunately, whether he knew it or not, but he had crabs. And when she reached into the pants, the crabs got all over her arm. Apparently, the production had to replace him until he got better, which I guess took about a week. But unfortunately, her experience, they got under her skin. I think that's how it worked. And it took her a longer time to recover from that. Very disgusting. But if you're in theater and you help do quick changes, make sure that the person or the actor that you're helping has good hygiene, or wear really long gloves. I don't know. But that was kind of disgusting, but an interesting story nonetheless. All right, so I moved in back and I pulled a few pieces from this lot that I am completely obsessed with. And sorry, don't mind my little taped up finger. Cut myself along the way, but let's take a peek. First up is this absolutely stunning 1970s crystal Hawaiian necklace. Now she, again, labeled the bag, which is so helpful, but I just have to show, I don't know if the camera can pick up this design. Here, there we go. Zoom in. It's this really cool etched print into this medallion. Oh, how stunning is that? Again, these are pieces that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to let go of. Now my heart just blew up when I saw this set. Now this appears to be 1950s, 1960s. I haven't been able to find a stamp on it yet, but it's these really cool scarab. So if you look closely, it has the scarab cabochon and looks like Egyptian themed details, matching earrings. So cool. It's really not very heavy. It's very lightweight, so it's definitely costume jewelry. I know I had a piece similar to this, and there was a specific stamp of costume jewelry that is really sought after, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't think that's what this is. Regardless, it's so cool. I love anything scarab. So the next piece in here, she had in a bag that she thought was a lot of contemporary jewelry, but this one she thought was older. Now it's really heavy. I don't know what kind of metal it is. I haven't found any sterling stamps or anything, but it's this really cool skeleton looking key, and it has two mermaids on here. How cool is that? I mean, it could be from the 70s. It's so hard to tell. Again, my specialty is not jewelry, it's clothing. But I love like this little shell, and That's just so cool. I mean, I know that this link isn't sterling because you see that wear. But regardless, this is such a cool piece. But I am going to spend a lot of the day tomorrow going through a lot of the other pieces that she brought in and some more of the history behind it. But a really, really cool woman. Fascinating story, fascinating life. She worked in theater, worked at different concert events, met Linda Ronstadt, and I mean, had some pretty interesting stories. So tomorrow we will pick up right where I left off with these and keep going through this haul. Good morning. It is Friday morning, and I just wanted to pop in and quickly show one of the necklaces that I got in that amazing lot yesterday. This is that 70s kind of like rock crystal agate piece from Hawaii. I love it. I just had to pop it on and show how cool it is. But today I am going to be going through all of the jewelry that I got in, get everything processed, sorted, see what I want to sell in the shop, what I want to keep for myself, and go from there. I'm hoping it's going to be a pretty relaxed day. I am now starting the process of writing my final grant report for the grant that I got this past summer. That we have a limited amount of time to get that done, and I am a little bit nervous about it, stressed, so I'm also going to be spending the weekend getting everything in order for that. So I might as well have fun with this jewelry while I can. It'll be a good balance between all the work that I have to do. Let's jump into it and I'll show you more of the jewelry and goodies that were brought in yesterday. All right, so I'm going to start going through this first box, which she described as being the box with the better vintage jewelry, which all of it is really amazing. So we are going to go through all of these and see what I want to keep, what I want to sell. They're all ready to go, so I'm excited. Let's jump right in. Some of these I showed you yesterday, but I've started a pile of ones that I'm keeping aside for now. Whether or not I need to do a little bit more research on them, I'm thinking of keeping them myself, or I'm gonna put them up online and take a little bit more of my time. So these, we believe are real pearls. She did a test on them, and I want to run a couple of more, but really, really beautiful, beautiful pieces. And then so far, these are the ones that I am just going to put straight out on the floor. I mean, look at these cool hand-painted porcelain clip-ons. They've got really, really good weight to them. Have these stunning pieces of costume jewelry. My camera doesn't know where to look. I should probably take them out of the bags. Some earring and brooch sets, necklaces, more brooches, a little mix of everything. So I'm gonna get these unbagged, these put back in the box for now, and then we'll move on to the next one. Now this one has a little bit of a mix of some newer jewelry and then other pieces of vintage jewelry. She called this kind of like the throwaway box, not like she was literally gonna throw it, but things that she didn't think I'd be interested in, but that was definitely not the case. Now, again, some of these are newer pieces of jewelry, maybe from the 90s, 2000s, not quite my style. So those I'm probably going to see what my friends and family want, and whatever is left I will put up in a massive lot on my eBay page. But I've set aside some pieces that I think would do really well on the floor because I can price them at a really good cheap price. And these lapel pins I was going to sell in a lot, but then I saw, I don't know if you can see in here, there's this little peach one. And I thought, well, maybe I can just put them in a bowl and let people grab what they want. Why not? All right, let's keep moving. Now I want to show an example of some of the newer pieces. As you can tell, brooches and pins like these, they're contemporary. They're gorgeous. These ones are vintage, but these ones, especially right here, I love this honeybee one. But again, it's a little too modern. So what I'm doing is I'm starting up a little bag of ones for my mom that I know my mom would really love. She saw some of them yesterday, and I thought, well, she loves jewelry and just as much as I do, and I know she's gonna love these, and she wears them. So I am starting a stash of ones that I know she will love and appreciate. And it's kind of nice, like when I get big lots like this, sometimes, I mean, maybe it's not really, maybe I'm not a good business person, but if I see ones that I know friends or family are gonna love and want for themselves, I just give it to them. I mean, I'm not that hard up, so these are going in that batch. So now a little bit of my process when I pick what pieces I am going to sell in store. I look for things that obviously are vintage, but also are just really classic with a pop or cool and unusual. So something like this, I would definitely keep for the shop. The lighting is horrible in here, but it has green little stones in it, gold. This will be really great during the holidays. Something like this, very classic, Victorian inspired. And this, I can sell it really cheap, and so it's going to be really affordable. And this one, definitely 80s heavy, but I love the ones that have just the draping chains on it. Put this on a collar, a sweater. I mean, I know a lot of customers that are really, really going to love these. So now we get into these. Some of them, again, more contemporary, or pieces like these are very one note, in my opinion. They're not anything that I gravitate towards. This one is really cool. It's definitely more of a contemporary piece, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with this one yet. But the rest of these, this one, I know I've sold ones like this before, so I might keep this one because it's simple but classic, maybe for the minimalists that dare come in my shop. But something like this with this really cool enamel stone and wire work is going into my mom's pile. I already pulled aside another one, this faux pearl heart with little teardrop red rhinestone in it. Now we get into the land of clip-on earrings. Now, I sell a lot of clip-on earrings at the shop. I have a lot of people coming in that have never had their ears pierced, don't plan on it, or have very sensitive ears and just stopped wearing post earrings. So clip-ons do really well. So if you're a vintage shop and watching this, don't sleep on clip-on earrings. You can do a lot with them. I love telling customers too, if they're like these really big ornate ones, you can clip them into your hair, clip them on a scarf. There's so many things you can do with them, but they do get a little bit tedious. And I can already tell there are some in here that are just gonna go in a lot, but it's still fun just to look through and see if there are any ones that pop out to me that I feel like I absolutely need to keep. All right, so I had to stop for a minute, but these were the ones I pulled out of those two bags of clip-on earrings that I thought just had a little bit of interest to them. And some of them may seem a little simple, but I tried to get things that a lot of different people would like. I love these little kind of like acrylic glitter mirrored ones. Everybody loves these light gold type hoops. This is very like Versace reminiscent, and they're very heavy too. Of course I had to get those. Polished wood, very, I think, boho, minimalist. But then these, at first I was like, oh, these look like fortune cookies, but don't they kind of look like vaginas? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just thought they were funny. So when I saw this necklace, it kind of broke my heart a bit because, so I'm pretty sure this is just one of those natural emeralds because you can kind of see those lines going through it, and probably cubic zirconia, I'm not positive, but I had a raw emerald ring just like this that had a main stone covered in little rhinestones, and it had smaller little emeralds on the side, and I lost them at a photo shoot. I thought it'd be a good idea to use the ring as a prop. Pretty sure it went down a sink somewhere. Devastating, because this would have matched perfectly. Devastated. I think this might be the last bag of clip-on earrings. Some of them, again, they're very, very basic and will probably just go in a little bit of an auction lot, but they're fun to look at anyways. And just, I don't know, I love the colors, but they're just not as easy of a sell for me in store. So looks like the majority of these are probably just gonna go in an auction lot. I lied, I kept these two sets out, even though the stones are yellowing a bit in this one. I'm kind of a sucker for rhinestones, what can I say? Another one I'm probably keeping for myself is this really cool, kind of two-toned goldish type bracelet. This is a Trifari, and I love Trifari. Very classic, very weighty. So I'm definitely keeping that one. Just kind of a little basic faux pearl bracelet. We have, it's this heavier silver necklace that has these little charms on it. Definitely newer. The chain itself isn't sterling silver, but it almost feels like the pendants are, especially because of their patina. But either way, those are going into an auction lot, and this one is going to stay with me. I've gotten down to some of these chains, like this vintage rope, braided rope, gold tone necklace. Well, I shouldn't say gold tone, it's, I believe it says on there 14, yeah, it's 14 karat gold plated. Got these two lovely gold necklaces, and they have stamps on them, but I have to get my little magnifying glass out to be able to read it. But again, really beautiful. Okay, I had to pause for a little bit, but I am back. So I just took out some more of these brooches, some really beautiful rhinestone and faux pearl ones. This one, a little bit heavier, is a Lisner, and Lisner pieces are definitely really great higher end costume jewelry pieces. But again, anything with rhinestones or any bit of interest, I'm gonna sell. I love it. So these four are definitely keepers for the shop, not for myself. Now it's funny, the last bag I'm unpacking, she had labeled watches and oddities. So you have some watch brooches in here, have a couple of men's cufflinks, some of these little pins. These are two that are going to be going up in the auction. Looks like we have some, are they dress or shoe clips? They look like shoe clips. And a cool purse or scarf clip. So I have to make some decisions on these. So hard on what to keep and what to sell. This will probably go in another auction lot. But these, I think I can figure out something to do with them. Okay, so I've been through all the jewelry. I am getting them all sorted. These are all the ones I'm selling, and I'm putting them in one box. And then all of the auction pieces are going into here. And I will just continue as I start selling more vintage jewelry, price them, put them out, price them, put them out. I'm gonna try to get some of the cooler ones up on the website. So I'll make sure to put the link to the vintage portion of our website below in case you see any of the pieces on here that you are interested in, or if you don't see it, DM me, whatever works. So we got through that, that was fun. But now I have a little pile of ones down here that I'm going to do a little bit more research on. And then I have the little pile for my mom. Now I'm gonna sit down and stuff my face because I'm starving. Okay, so I finished sorting the jewelry. It's towards the end of Friday, almost close to close, and we hung up a lot of the clothing, pretty much all of the clothing that had been folded. We had to set up another rack. So I brought back some pieces that I brought home and laundered a bit more because there are a little bit of discoloration on the collar. But this mini dress, I love the label. It's from Fifth Avenue. Love that. Condensed some pieces. Again, more pieces that I have laundered. Look at this killer red orange pantsuit. I love it. And these little shorts. I'm just obsessed. And of course, earlier you saw jean skirt. So I've been getting everything hung up. Have some of the archive stuff on here. I just have to put that back. So this is off the floor, which I'm really happy about. Now I just have to sort by pieces that are need mending, some of the archive pieces, and then eventually I can start hanging up a lot of these bags, clearing off my couch finally, and then finding a place for a lot of the Joanne Carson pieces before I get them displayed. Work in progress. We are getting there. All right, so it is Sunday. I didn't have time to film yesterday, but we got all of these new pieces hung up, ready to go. They just have to be priced, eventually steamed, put on better hangers. But I did decide to keep this mini dress slash cardigan. It's so beautiful, and I know the moment I put it up in the window, it's gonna sell, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to it yet. So I'm keeping that aside. I have the pieces that are gonna be mended. Look at all those cool colors. Ah, they're so gorgeous. And then I have these pieces that I'm gonna keep in the archive, like this swimsuit. Slowly getting there. I believe I have Frankie coming in today, and I'm gonna see if they can do some mending on these pieces while I finish up some work. I'm writing out my final grant report, and I have a lot to focus on. But it's always nice having all of these beautiful vintage pieces to give me inspiration and remind me why I do what I do.